Everybody loves a good gold maker. No, we're not talking about GDKPs or just buying gold. We're talking about an actual legitimate gold farm, which I've been trying on the PTR on a prop paladin, and it's extremely comfortable. This isn't to say other classes can't do it, maybe prop warriors, feral druids. I've even seen old videos of warlocks and hunters doing this farm. What class you are just depends on what mobs you're actually going to kill. This is what I would consider a real RNG farm, because you're really only after one item that's going to make this all worthwhile, and how long it's going to take to get, who knows. But the bottom line is, the quicker you can do this, the more mobs you're going to kill, the higher chance of getting a battered hilt. Oh, and there probably is one thing I should mention. You do need to do these heroics in order. So to be able to get in, you need to do Forge of Souls first, because there's a quest inside to kill the final boss in there. So if you haven't done that, you won't even be able to get into Pit of Sauron heroic. You can actually do the quest chain on normal, so you don't have to do the quest chain on heroic to unlock Pit of Sauron. Just grab a couple of friends, smash through normal, and boom, you're good to farm. So the Battered Hilt is the item that we're after here, and when you do these new ICC 5-man heroics, every mob in the heroic versions of the dungeons has a chance at dropping this item. The Battered Hilt is an item that can be bought and sold on the auction house, and it rewards a 251 item level weapon, as well as an achievement. So even for people who don't want the weapon, they'll still likely do this quest chain because A, it's quite a cool quest chain to do, and B, you're going to get yourself an achievement. Now the problem is, when you're doing it in a 5-man group, if Battered Hilt drops while you're running this, there's only a 20% chance that you're going to be the one that wins it. We don't know how much these Battered Hilts are going to go for, and it will probably vary wildly from server to server. So I wouldn't dare put an actual gold per hour on this, because honestly, who knows? They could sell for 10k gold on your server, they could sell for 2k gold on your server. So whether or not this is worthwhile, you'll have to make your own mind up. But solo farming this as a prop paladin is, I'm not going to say comfortable, but it's doable. There's some packs that are easier than others, and you really do need to play your class fairly well, especially if you're in the gear that I'm in, because I'm not stacked out in TOGC heroic gear. My protection gear is literally my third spec. My main spec on this paladin is Ret, my off spec's Holy, and my off spec is protection. So I've just got any gear that I could hoover up basically, and a lot of it's just from Ulduar. And as long as you play your class well, you can still do this. Again, I am going to tailor this video for paladin specific, because it's the one that I've been doing it on. If you're high skilled at your class, high geared, you'll probably be able to do it as most classes. Now, when you're running around the outside walls of the instance primarily, you're going to find these Wrathbone labourers. Now, these are by far the easiest to solo. They do very little, they put a little bleed on you, but quite honestly, it's nothing to worry about. And quite honestly, taking one of these at a time shouldn't be a problem, even if you're lower geared than I am at the moment. You can go in and go left and pull one down into the water, you've got another one to the left of that, and then you could even go up and go to the right hand side and go around and clear that side of them as well. This wouldn't be a particularly efficient run if all you're doing is focusing on these, but if it is all you can manage to kill, then it's better than nothing. You then have the best ones, in my opinion, the Death Whisper Necrolytes. Now, these come with 6 small skeletons as well, and because it's every mob in heroic that has a chance to drop the Battered Hilt, you're killing 7 mobs in quite quick succession. The problem is, you have to play very well to kill these Necrolytes. They've got 2 abilities that they do. One's Shadow Conversion, which increases the amount of shadow damage you take by 10% each tick, and also does shadow damage at the same time. Then it's also got a Shadow Bolt. Both of these do hit incredibly hard, but quite honestly, the Shadow Conversion is the one that's quite dangerous. So as a paladin, you really want to be using your stun, you want to be using your Avenger's Shield, and even if you've got some grenades that either stun or incapacitate as well, you just want to interrupt as many shadow conversions as physically possible. Another tip is you should not be scared to use Seal of Light. If you're starting to get low, use Seal of Light. Yes, the mob's going to take longer to kill, but you can even then keep Judgment of Wisdom up and obviously be getting health and mana back at the same time. How I find a really good way of handling these Necrolytes is actually to use Seal of Justice when I've got no stun, I've got no Avenger's Shield, and I've got no grenade ready. Even though Seal of Justice is a bit RNG on when it's going to stun, most of the time when you're switching so frequently between Seal of Justice, Seal of Light, and Seal of Vengeance, if your other stuns are off cooldown, you're probably going to get 3 stuns out of your Seal of Justice while it's up. As soon as you see the mob become immune, obviously switch back to another seal. But by the time you switch back to the other seal, the diminishing returns will start running out and you'll be able to use your silence or your stun or your grenade again. I would say the Necrolytes are probably the most dangerous in here, even though it's a single mob and 6 non-elites. I think they're the most dangerous, but they're the most reward because you're killing 7 mobs really quickly. So if you start getting scared and you think you're going to die, make sure you loot the small skeletons first, because that's happened to me. I died on these trying to work out exactly the best way of handling them, but then I've run back and the skeletons have despawned. So don't make that mistake. If you start getting worried, make sure you loot the skeleton so you at least don't lose 6 chances at a Battered Hilt. I would say the second most dangerous pack is the packs of 4 that you get. These have got Death Whisper Torturers and Death Whisper Shadowcasters. It's also got 2 ghouls, which are also elite, but they barely do anything at all. So it's the casters that you're wanting to get down as quickly as possible. So again, good use of your Blood Elf ratio if you are a Blood Elf to keep them interrupted as much as possible. Again, with Avenger's Shield, Stun, don't be scared to switch to Seal of Justice to interrupt spellcast as well. But quite honestly, you can pretty much safely go in with just Seal of Command, make sure you're dispelling yourself on any debuffs you get, and just nuke these down. I'll be honest with you, when I take that pack of 4, I rarely switch out of Seal of Command, because they do die pretty quick. And as long as you're just focusing those 2 casters down first, you should have no issues at all. Now, depending on whether you make your way round the big pit in the middle, going left or going right, if you was to go round the left side as you walk in, there'll be some slaves that are sort of stood there in fear. Back away from those and there'll be a little bit of RP, and then 2 gargoyles will come down. You can actually pull these gargoyles one at a time, and these are really safe. They do like a gargoyle shadow strike, which is basically like a shadow bolt, and then at one point they put their like gargoyle skin on where they take practically no damage. So I don't know, just stand there and look pretty, or go and pull something else like I do. But that's another 2 mobs down. You can kill both those gargoyles, absolutely no problem at all. There are other trigger points to trigger other gargoyles, but really, these are the only ones you should be bothered about, because with how long it takes to clear, you can pretty much just go up to the edges of the pit and then reset and do it again. Now, when you're running around here, it looks like there's a lot of trash, but you can avoid the vast majority of it. So if there's any particular mobs that you actually want to kill, like I would actually recommend these A-bomb type things at the back here, which is the Plague-born Horrors. These are extremely easy to kill. I would say they're as easy, if not easier, than the big skeletons that we was killing earlier. All you need to do is make sure you've got a little bit of room here, so it would be good to kill the gargoyles first. But for these, all you do is kite out of the green pools and dispel poison off yourself. They really are not difficult whatsoever. And there's normally 4 or 5 of them, so you can pull a couple of them at a time. It just means you're going to be moving a little bit more. These ones are incredibly safe to pull. Again, combining these and the gargoyles together, when one of the gargoyles puts its skin up where it takes reduced damage, you could then grab one of these and just kill them both at the same time. And basically, that's what you want to do. You want to just run around the instance and kill as many of the mobs that you can handle as possible. Go out, reset, try again. Did you get a Battered Hilt? If you did, how much is it going to sell for? I don't know, but it could be a really, really good solo farm for prop paladins if the Battered Hilt's selling well on your server. Now, there is one mob that I avoid, and with good reason, and it's these. And you'll see me die literally right now. The Sky Callers that are on a Proto-Drake, you get a debuff put on you where you need to be healed to full health. Otherwise, you keep taking frost damage. Now, it's very rare that you can even possibly get back to full health without bubbling and then healing to get rid of it, but it seems to get applied so quickly again that there's only one of these that just wanders around where you want to be killing mobs anyway. So honestly, just avoid it. There's no need to kill it. It will take far longer and it's far more dangerous than anything else in here. So just leave it alone. And that's it. I genuinely think for Paladins particularly, this will be a really interesting way to farm gold in Phase 4. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.